It's on. Good evening everyone and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs with Nifty Nozzles. My name is Tracy Mann from Tracy Mann Cakes. It's not my usual evening. I was supposed to be here last night but I'm here tonight instead, and I'm going to show you this evening how to make a Christmas tree, buttercream Christmas tree with some chocolate decorations, something that you could replicate and make yourself over Christmas. So hopefully it will all go well. As usual, we never know, we're always winging it a little bit. So that's what the plan that we're going to do tonight, or we were going to do last night. So I'm going to talk you all through that this evening. So there's going to be some bit of chocolate making, bit of buttercream, cake construction. We've got it all going on this evening. So hopefully, as I say, you will feel inspired and have a go yourself. So I have got Kelly with me this evening. Say hello, Kelly.
Hello.
So Kelly is in on comments tonight, so she will be able to ask me any questions. If you have any questions with regards to tonight's demonstration, do please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you, and Kelly will feed those back to me. Right, okay, so we've got a lot to do, so we're going to get started. So we're going to start off by having a look at the construction of the tree, and we're going to cover our cake board and start building that up. Then we're going to let that set. We're going to do some chocolate. We're going to get some things set and into the fridge. Then we're going to paint some chocolate things as well, and then we're going to start putting the tree together. So it'll all come together at the end quite quickly. So hello everyone. Hi Nikki. Hi Angela. Hi Jenny. I can see some of your names coming up now. Lovely to see you all again, or hear from you, and Serena as well. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I know it's not my normal scheduled evening. It's normally Tuesday for me, but it all went a bit wrong yesterday. So anyway, I'm here today. So let's get started. So I'm going to just thinking I need my tape measure, which I do actually have, because no doubt in a minute there'll be loads of questions about what size I'm using for this. So we're going to make a tree, and we're going to put it on a board, and we're going to raise it off the ground a little bit. So we're going to make a tree that's tree, stump, and then board. So we're going to cover the whole lot. So the size cake board that I'm using tonight, let's move it over here, which has got a bit of damage in the middle. That's me earlier. I've got an 11-inch round cake drum tonight. Anyone wants that in centimetres? 28 centimetres approximately. I've also got this here. Let me bring this on screen so you can see it now. So this is two 4-inch round cake drums I've hot glued and stuck together, and then what I've done is I've covered it in some black sugar paste, so you can see that I've done that in advance just to try and help myself out a little bit here, and that's going to be the thing that the Christmas tree is going to sit on. So if you want to do this, 11-inch board, 4-inch round, two cake drums, so they're the same thickness as this, stacked together and then covered with some black sugar paste. All I've done is taken a bit of water, gone round and just put the sugar paste on and left it. So that's going to be my tree trunk there. Okay, right, so let's carry on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover the cake board, and we're going to do that with some red chocolate paste, or red paste. I've got chocolate paste on the brain. Right, so we're going to do that with red paste. Let me come back on screen for a second. So just some Renshaw's red, nothing too complicated, although because it's so cold at the moment, everything is really rock hard. Now what do I do with those scissors, Kelly? I had this discussion earlier. Oh, there they are. I've hidden them. Let me get my scissors. Right. Start off by trying to find my scissors. We're descending into chaos already. We're not going to do that, are we, Kelly?
No.
No, we're going to be very good this evening. So we're going to start off with some red paste, and we're going to cover our board. Very important. Hopefully that then will set off the tree nicely, rather than leaving it on a silver board. I'm all for covering cake boards rather than just having them plain silver. They do look really, really nice. I'm throwing everything at this cake, literally. And then I'm back again tomorrow morning. So if anybody wants to tune in again, by the time I've cleared this lot up, I'm live again tomorrow morning at 11:30. So it's a very quick turnaround for me this week, but this is what happens, you see, when it goes wrong on the when I'm meant to be on, you see. Right, let's go across to the other screen. Let me take this down so you can see what's going on. So this is just red sugar paste. Let's give it a quick knead. Nice to see some of you this evening. Hello Lynn, hello Angie, hello Janie. I can see lots of your names coming up. You're welcome. Now my camera may well jiggle about a little bit at the moment because it's actually attached to my table. So just bear with me for a second while we just get this going. I say it's very cold. It's cold in here. Well, actually, I have got the heater on. I might have to turn that off because I'll overheat. That'll be the next thing. I'll go from one way to the other. Right, okay. There we are. Let's give it a bit more of a knead. It's still cracking because it's so cold. I'm going to pop it in the microwave if it carries on. Give it a quick blast in the microwave because it's not doing what I need it to do. I need it to be, turn that off as well. I need it to be nice and soft so I can roll it out. And it's so cold that it's not doing what it needs to do. Let's back on the screen again. There we go. Don't forget to like and share tonight's programme. Like and share it to your friends and family. That will be good. You have a chance to win a voucher. Right, let's get some icing sugar down. And let's get rolling out. Find a rolling pin. There we go. So off we go. So in order to get a circle, we're just going to quarter turn it as we go. Keep going. So this is 2 lots of 250 grams for this size. So that's 500 grams in total, I think. Are these 200 or 250? 250. So 500 in total. Just keep turning it. And you should get a circle. Okay. Keep going and see how we're getting on. We can always take the board and put it over the top and have a look. So we're not quite there yet. I'll push it out a bit further. Thought we'd go red tonight. Why not? Oh, well done. Everyone's liking and sharing. Perfect. Thank you for that. There we go, that should be enough. Let's have a little look. Yeah, perfect. So what we're going to do next is I'm just going to take, whoops, let's swap cameras so you can see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is just take a paintbrush and I'm just going to put some water over the cake board so it's got something to stick to. Don't worry about this bit in the middle, that's all going to be covered in a minute. That was me earlier making a mistake. I was trying to get so organised, I managed to hot glue everything the wrong way around. Talking of which, I need to put that on. Where is my hot glue gun? It's here somewhere. Right, switch it on so I don't forget. So I need that. Right. Okay. So we're just going to put some water onto the board. Make sure you've got water all over the board, otherwise it won't stick. They're all talking to you, Kelly.
No.
Right, they're all chattering away to Kelly, aren't they?
Fan favourite.
She's the fan favourite now. Right, okay, here we go. Let's go back to this. So what I'm going to do is put the rolling pin over the top and bring that over towards me and take hold of the board and then just lay it down like so. Okay, quite straightforward. Then what we're going to do then, let's just bring up my chair and then just smooth it down before you cut it. Okay, now we are going to cut a little hole in it in the middle, like so. So that's it all nice and smooth. We're going to take hold of a plastic side scraper. So I'm just moving my hot glue gun around so it doesn't get in the wrong place. I'm just going to pick this up and then all I'm going to do is just cut this. You can see what I'm doing with a plastic side scraper. I find this is much easier, much quicker and much safer than using a knife for cutting my sugar paste off. So if anybody ever gets one of these, plastic side scraper, best thing ever. So that's all you do, it's very straightforward. Okay, like that, there you go, job done. So that's that. Okay, so we've covered our board, so that's a good start. Get that bit done. Let's move that out of the way. Now, what we need to do is we're going to make the middle out so that we can put our tree trunk in, because this tree is actually stood up off the board. So we've got our piece earlier that we've got here, like so. And all we're going to do is we're going to mark it. What have we got to mark it here? We've got a scriber. That looks good to me. Right, let's make sure it's in the middle, which is a job to tell. There we go, that looks okay. And I'm just going to run my scriber around the outside edge of this, like so. This is where I'll probably make a mess, but that's all right. So I'm going to then just take my knife and I'm just going to remove this part here, like so. So I'm just going to run this round. Am I still on screen? Yes, I am. That's all right. So just take this out here. You can do all this in advance. You don't have to do it sort of on the day like I'm doing it. So, you know, you can get this ready. I'm just showing you live so you know how to do it. And then I'm just going to pick that bit up and take it out. Ignore my board because, as I say, I jumped one step ahead of myself. I hot glued it and then forgot I was going to be covering the board. So it looks a bit of a mess. Right, let's pop that in there. Make sure it fits. It should fit, hopefully. Near enough. Just push that back a little bit there. Okay, now, which is all the mess I've got in the middle here, we're going to get hold of my hot glue gun and we're just going to put some glue down in the middle here, like so. And then very quickly pick this up and pop that in the middle. And that is how our base is going to hold. Kelly, I mustn't run out of glue. I'm just looking at that. I haven't got a spare glue thing with me. I don't think I bought another glue stick.
Do you need it again?
No, I hope not. Well, I'm going to need it to stick the tree on, so we have to be very good with our hot glue. We don't use too much. Right, so there we go. So that's that set, which is the bit of our base for our tree. If you have any sort of gaps left, you can always just push the sugar paste in towards it, but that's it. It's all set now, so it's really straightforward. Nothing to worry about there. So let's move the rolling pin out of the way so we've got a bit of space. Let's put my wrappers in the bin. Right, okay, let's put that back up there. There, so far so good. She says, smiling her way through it. Now, let's talk about the cake. Let's have a little look at that. So I'm just going to move that out of the way and I'm going to put this on my board and I'm going to show you what I've done cake-wise here. So let's have a look at my stack. So this is the cake that I've made. Okay, I'm just going to take my cling film off it so you can have a little look at what I've done. So if anybody wants to have a go at this cake, I started at the bottom here. It's quite a big stack. You can't see it 100% on screen, but you can get a good idea what's going on here. So it's on a 7-inch board. So there's a 7-inch board there at the bottom. Then that's a 7-inch cake. Then that is a 6, 5, 4. Then I've used my circle cutters to get to the top like so. And now I'm going to carve it into a tree shape. And that's where I'm looking around the room and thinking, I forgot to get my big knife out. It's the really big, no, the little knives over there. That will do, Kelly. I'll have that one for now. So we're now going to carve this into a tree shape. So we're going to make loads of mess now. Okay, so let me just make sure you can see. Might be easier to see it on the overhead camera, actually. I might move it under there so you can have a little look. Let me just have a little reorganise here.
Just some people asking, what did you put in the middle?
Buttercream.
No. The black thing.
What is it?
The red and then the black.
The red and... What do you mean? What's in the middle?
What is it? What is the black thing?
Oh, I see. Right, it's just 2 4-inch round cake drums. So cake drums, as in the little thick ones. 2 4-inch ones hot glued together to make a bit of a stand. And then all I've done is cover it in black sugar paste. So I haven't done anything too weird or odd. So I've literally just taken some water and wrapped some sugar paste around. So that's it. That's all I've done. So nothing too technical there. Now what I'm going to do is try my hardest. I'm even looking on the camera here and it's looking a tiny bit strange. So I think what we'll do is we'll go back to the side camera here and we will pick this up from over here. If I can give you the best possible view, I will.
Why don't you move the camera?
Yeah, I'm going to move the camera up a tiny little bit just to There we go, just so we can catch the top of it more than anything else. Right, okay, so we're going to start carving it, and we're going to start at the top, and all we're going to do is literally just take it straight to the bottom. Now you might not be able to see this, I'm going to come this side and do it slightly left-handed for me. And just come down the side, just clipping the edges until you get to the bottom, okay? Can you see what I'm doing? So you'll find that the top piece will literally end up being nothing. I'm going to have to go back a tiny bit there because it's all going to end up on the floor otherwise. So we're just going to clip the edges as we come down to make a cone shape. So that's what we're trying to do. And this cake is very soft. So I use Sweet Successes cake, which is always quite soft. So it's nice and easy for something like this. So you can make this tree as big or as small as you want to make it. It's entirely up to you. You can choose. So if you want to make a bigger cake, you just start with a bigger board at the bottom. So mine's a 7-inch, which I think is actually big enough, but if you want to make it even bigger, then yeah, you could go for it and start with a huge one at the bottom and just keep going. So just go round at the start, just gnawing little bits off as you go. So don't take off too much to start with, just take off a little bit at a time and just go down the side of your cake, just clipping the edge. And be careful you don't take great big chunks out the bottom because you want that to be the same size as your cake board. So from the top straight down like I'm doing. Who said yummy offcuts?
I don't know, but they've got the same idea as I have. It's Jackie.
I think Kelly's thinking the same actually.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Nikki's thinking the same, I bet.
Yeah.
That's my bet.
Okay, so we're going down like that. Right, now I'm just going to change on this side just because I am right-handed and I'm finding it a tiny bit difficult to do at this angle. I'm going to try and put my hand around this side. Okay, so now we're at this stage, we can just go straight down. You can see it sort of literally is crumbling away. So that ridge that we had is now gone. And we're getting ourselves a nice Christmas tree shape without actually losing too much cake as well.
Is there a dowel?
No, there is no dowel in this because I don't think you need one personally. If you want to put a doweling rod in there, you can. But every time I've done this cake, I've never put a doweling rod in it because it's not particularly heavy. The biggest cake being a 7-inch. I don't. But if you were to go up even more layers, yes, you may need to consider put a doweling rod in it. And some more, perhaps some boards in between as well. Just depends how big you want this to be. I think this is enough myself. Okay, so I'm just going to, nearly there, let's get to the top. So it doesn't take very long. It doesn't need to be perfect. We just want a cone shape. Right, okay. Now we're just going to get rid of all this cake. Right, hold on. Let me take this off for a second. I'm just going to put this in the bin. I'm passing it to Kelly. I'm going to make her put it in the bin. Right, so you can see what's going on over there. You can always just squash it down a little bit as well, just to give yourself the cake shape that you want. Right, let's bring this back up again. There we go. All right, that looks okay to me. Happy with that. So
just to reiterate, what sizes were the cakes?
Right, they start with a 7 at the bottom. I'm going to say this the last time, and then if anybody else wants to know, you can go back at the start and have a look when this is over, because you'll be able to watch this back. So it's a 7-inch at the bottom, then a 6, then a 5, then a 4, and then I've just used circle cutters. So they've just got smaller and smaller until we've got to the point where we have got this shape. So you can go up as much as you like. It's entirely up to you. It's your cake. You can do whatever size it is that you want to do it. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to cover this in some, not the bin, unless Kelly is the bin.
It is a bowl that I will now eat from.
Right, I'm just putting the buttercream in just to warm it up a little bit because, as I say, it's very, very cold in here at the moment. And I'm just going to coat this with one layer of green. So we're going to just do one crumb coat on it just to stop it pulling off when we start piping. So I'm going to pipe this tree. That's the plan anyway. So I've got some green buttercream tonight. I mean, Carol's got lots of flavours, so I'm sure you can choose a nice flavour for your tree. This toasted marshmallow, yeah, I didn't get to see that one because Kelly whipped that one from underneath me. Isn't that right, Kelly? So we have got, this is fractal green, so it's quite a nice dark green colour. I'm just reading the comments about the orders. I'm glad you're all getting your orders through now. The post has been a little bit on the erratic side. I'm just going to give it another 10 seconds. If anybody is waiting for an order specifically from me, we don't have any outstanding orders now. Absolutely everything is out, with the exception of one lady. And she knows. So anybody who's waiting, it's on its way. There we go. I've just given that a little bit of a warm up in the microwave. I bet Kelly only gets fed on off cut. Oh yeah, poor.
Yeah, it's my entire diet is just off cuts.
Poor old Kelly, it's a hard life, isn't it, Kel? Right, okay, so we're going to cover this in buttercream now. So all we're going to do is just take hold of some of this green, which is nice and soft. And we're going to start at the bottom. I'm just going to give it a nice thin layer. I'm not going to make this complicated, just thin, just to stop all the crumb coat pulling off. Okay. So if you're going to do this, your buttercream's got to be soft. If it's stiff as you're putting it on and it's lifting the cake, mine's lifting a little bit, but it's not lifting drastically, and it doesn't matter because I'm going to be piping over it. But if it's lifting really drastically, you need to add some water to it to soften it down or heat it up a little bit. So I'm just holding onto the board at the bottom because it's moving around a little bit. Like so. Now I'm going to just go onto my board, my turntable, but that's okay because we can clean that up. Or rather, I'll pass it to Kelly to clean up. Well, if she's going to eat these offcuts, she's got to earn it, you see. Isn't that right, Cal?
Yeah.
Let's go down to the bottom. Here we're scraping the board a little bit. There we go. All right, let's go up the cake a bit. It's a nice green colour, isn't it? It's fractal green.
Comes look a bit darker on camera, but in real life it's quite vibrant.
Yeah, it's grass green is the colour. If anybody wants to know what that is, I'm sure Carol's probably got it on her site somewhere. Let's go down this side. And then when I start piping, you see, hopefully then you won't see any gaps if I miss anything because it will be green. As long as I've got enough icing to do the cake, which hopefully I have. I've got this and backup icing, so we should be fine. I always overestimate massively. Really bad. I'd rather have too much than not enough, especially when you're doing it live. Okay. There we go. Getting a green cone, aren't we? Nearly there. It will move around a little bit because don't forget it's not actually attached to anything, but it will be shortly.
People are wondering, how would you cut this?
With a great big knife.
Very long cone, triangular pieces.
Yeah. It's Christmas. It doesn't matter.
You just need a fork.
You need a fork. There you go. Kelly says you just need a fork.
Yeah. This is one person portions.
Yeah. I'm getting quite close to the top and I realise you can't actually see that on the screen, so just bear with me a second while I just do that bit. Nearly there. So just be a bit careful with the top
bit.
bit.
Cut from the top, like sideways.
Yeah, you could take portions out of it. I think this is an impact piece, so this is just a really lovely novelty cake that you can make over Christmas. If you don't want to cut it, give it away to someone. Mine's actually off to Stoke Mandeville Hospital tomorrow. That's where my cake is going, Kelly, so just in case you've got any designs on it. It's not going to be here. It's off to the NHS. It's going to the A&E department. Right, so we're going to just take, if you want to, you can just take your plastic scraper.
How far in advance can you make up buttercream?
Oh, buttercream lasts about 3 weeks in the fridge. It's great. Yeah, make it up.
As long as it's not hot.
Yeah, well, it's not so good when it's hot because you do tend to have a few more issues. But buttercream, you can make it well in advance. There's lots of you on here doing buttercream with Carol, so I'm sure she's probably got words of wisdom with that as well. So I would say easily 3 weeks. And unfortunately, we go through it faster than 3 weeks, don't we, Kelly?
Every 3 days.
Every 3 days we're making monstrous sized bowls of buttercream, so yeah, I don't have that problem, but I would say 3 weeks is probably fine. If you don't put any milk in it though, that's the only thing I'd say. Just as long as it's made with icing sugar, butter and water, that should be fine. There we go. That will be fine. We're going to leave that to set for a bit. There you go. Cut her.
Grinch colour, isn't it?
It's the Grinch colour, yeah. It's the Grinch tree, this one. Okay, that's fine. Right, we can leave that now for a bit. Let's come back on screen for a second. Have you got a cloth in there, Kelly, so we can just clean up this turntable, please? Just going to take this cake off here because I'm in a pickle. Right. Don't wring the cloth out.
I did.
Right.
Carol says, up to the date of the pack of butter, don't add milk.
Yeah, no milk. Don't put any milk in it. The minute you start putting milk in it, you have much more problems because milk goes off, doesn't it? So just, well, milk goes off. You know, milk's got a very short sell-by date, so you don't want to put milk in it. Just put some water in it and be fine. Right, there we go. We have a nice clean turntable now. Trying to be very organised this evening with my cleaning because we've got a lot to do. And otherwise we will descend into chaos, you see. And if we start to descend into chaos, then I start to descend into chaos. Isn't that right, Kelly? Mm-hmm. Right, okay. I was going to put that cake in the fridge, but I don't think it's going to fit. You just, that's it, thank you. Right, okay, so we've done that. Now we're going to, what are we doing next? Let me think about this for a second. We're going to do some transfer sheets. So we're going to make some little bits and pieces to go on our Christmas tree. So we're going to make some baubles and we're going to make those out of transfer sheets. We're going to make some little tiny ones and we're going to make some big ones as well. So we're going to use a couple of these. So if you've not seen these before, these are transfer sheets. They are available specifically on my website. Put my website up for a split second so you can see. They're acetate sheets with patterns on them. I've been on and on and on about these forever and a day because they're so versatile and there's so many things you can do with them. And this evening I'm going to show you how to make some decorations. We've also got some moulds on the go as well, so I can show you those as well. So this one is Elegant Snowflake, which is just a white snowflake pattern. I'll probably show you better under this camera. There we go. So that's what the white snowflake one. Now you can see it's see-through. So whatever you put underneath it, you're going to see. So I've got some milk chocolate in here and you see if I hold that, if I take my spatula out, if I hold that over the milk chocolate, you can see the pattern really easily. Okay, so what you don't want to do is put this on white chocolate because then you won't see it very well. I've got a bit of white buttercream here actually, which is similar in colour. You can see it's much more difficult to see it. So it's really interesting to actually use some milk chocolate or dark so you can see it really well. We're also going to be using this one, Mr. Santa, and we have got a Gingerbread Man one on the go as well, and possibly the little snowmans. We're just kind of going for it a bit really. So that's the snowman one. Oh no, it's not, that's Mr. Santa. That's the snowman one. It's this nice little pattern.
Is your Christmas bauble cake available on YouTube or is it a course?
It's a course. So it's on the website as a course, okay? And there we go, that is, it's on YouTube as in a video, it shows you what it looks like, but actually the course is on my website, okay? Right, let's take that down again. Okay, so Gingerbread Men as well. So we're going to use a bit of a selection. You don't have to use the whole transfer sheet in one go. You can cut bits off, and that's what we've been doing the whole time I've been doing demos, is just taking little bits off here and there and making things. So that's kind of what we've been doing. So if you do get, the sheets are quite big, they're like A3 size, so when you get them, you don't think, oh gosh, I've got to use this whole thing in one go. I've made so many different things with them over the last few weeks. We made a cup last week, which actually I've still got here somewhere. It's behind me. And then we're going to just do these decorations tonight with this, so you'll be able to see how that works. So we're going to use tempered chocolate. We're going to be using Calabao. Now, we've had a problem with Calabao, like you wouldn't believe. So Calabao decided to move their factory 3 weeks ago, and as a result we now have a big supply problem with Calabao. We've now got 1 kilos in, but what we've had to do is we've had to weigh them up to get the supply still moving. I don't know if Carol's had any more success than us, but it's been really difficult. So there is some around, but it is quite tricky to get hold of. Got lots of 400 grams, thank goodness, but it has been quite tricky. Now Calabao milk chocolate, it looks like this. So this is what we're going to be using. So they start off as little buttons, and you can't just melt them straight away in the microwave. You have to go through a process which is called tempering, and that's what I'm going to show you now. Although I'm just looking at this and thinking, I wonder if I've got enough. I might put a bit more in, and that's what we're going to do next. I'm just going to add a few more of these, make sure I've got enough. Right, okay, so we're going to do this in the microwave. Let's go back onto main screen. I'm just going to move my chair out of the way, so otherwise I'll end up falling over. Now we're going to do this on full power in the microwave, and we're going to start with 30 seconds. So that's 30 seconds on full power, and that is going to start the melting process. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to bring it out of the microwave, 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir, until we've completely melted it, and we're looking for the consistency of double cream. Now I say this all the time, and I'm sure if you do watch on a regular basis, you'll know it and remember it. You see, the more I talk about it, the more hopefully it will go in. You can't cheat this process, you can't speed this up, because if you do, it goes wrong. So I have to go through this even live to make it work. So when it first comes out the microwave, there's literally nothing to see. You can hear it, it's still moving in exactly the same way. So you pop it straight back in the microwave, but you have to now start reducing the amount of time it goes in for. So it's now 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir. And at the start that can be quite difficult, because it actually doesn't look like it's doing anything. It just looks exactly the same. But you can hear it, you can hear there's no change, it just sounds the same. So all I'm going to do is just pull it out, literally just put my spatula in there, move it all around and put it back in again. But there is definitely heat going on in there, and the temptation is to speed this up, especially at the start. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid using a thermometer by very slowly creeping up the temperature, so that we don't have to use a thermometer. So if we can get away with not using a chocolate thermometer, then we become kind of less hung up about what it's actually meant to look like. We can look at it and make a decision, rather than standing there with a thermometer, which takes much, much longer to actually look at it, and then you'll be fine that way. So my microwave is approximately 850 watts, I believe. Is that right? 850 watts. So that's how hot my microwave is. It actually doesn't matter as long as you do it on full power. If you've got a slightly stronger microwave, it's just going to take slightly less time, but just be careful, because one of my microwaves at home, I've got 2 at home, one of them is particularly hot, so you have to be a little bit careful with that one and just reduce the heat back a little bit.
It says that they normally jog on the spot during the tempering progress.
Who does? Jog on the spot?
Jog on the spot. That's quite a good idea.
I'm not starting that. Do some star jumps.
You're burning off the calories of the chocolate that you're eating.
Okay, who came up with that idea?
Lee James. I like that.
Listen, when you're doing this live, I'm hot enough as it is without me getting even hotter doing star jumps, so I'm going to stick with just standing still and talking, I think. Otherwise, I think it could get quite messy.
I might start doing that at home.
What, when you're tempering chocolate?
Yeah.
I will report back on Kelly doing that. Let's make sure she does that.
I'll come back really skinny.
I'm not going to start that, no. Having said that though, you know, there's very little you can actually do in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It really is quite frustrating actually. So at the the moment, again, all we've got is this. It literally is very little to see. It's now starting to melt. You can see areas of it that's starting to go. So we know now that the process is underway, and all we just need to do is keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it, because I chat away and then I realise that I've completely missed it. So I must keep an eye on it. So every 10 seconds. As you get towards the end of the process, the stirring becomes as important, if not more important, than the heat itself. So you must make sure you keep stirring it. That is absolutely crucial, okay? Approaching another 10. But for doing this at home, this is the easiest way you're going to find to do anything like that. Star jumps.
Punishment. Used to be punishment in the area.
I don't think I'm going to start doing star jumps. Definitely not. That's not happening. Right, okay, so at this stage, this is where we are. Let's change screen so you can have a look. So that's what it's doing at the moment. So we're almost there. It's getting there. Let's go back on screen again. Give it another 10 seconds and we're getting there. About 2 or 3 more goes. You all right, Kel?
Yeah, I was just seeing if you need a board.
No, I've got a green one there, so I should be okay. That's nearly there. Right, yeah, that is a good point. Let's put a board over here. I might need a second one actually. There's another one over there. Get ourselves organised. It's alright, just pop it down there. That's fine. Thank you. So that's what it's doing at the moment. So we're not quite there. We need it to actually, so although we can't see many of the buttons now, and you can see as I'm mixing it that it's getting more and more, you can see the buttons more and more disintegrating, but we actually need it to pour so we can do things with it. Talking of which, I haven't even thought about this, so let me get myself organised here. Let's cut this sheet up.
Ladies of a certain age might need to tennillate you.
What's that?
To be a star jump.
Oh dear.
Can you mix ruby and white chocolate or mix dark and something else?
Yeah.
Do they have different melting points?
Yeah, do that. I've done that quite a few times actually. Sometimes if you start off with say white chocolate and then you think, oh, I'm going to melt some milk or dark now, you don't even need to wash the bowl up. You just put the milk in and off you go. It's very straightforward. Yeah, no problem. It will just incorporate. Yeah, so if you say that you've got some milk and you haven't quite got enough of what you need, just add in a little bit more white and you'll be fine. Right, that's where we are. Just needs a tiny bit more in the microwave. It's almost there. Although I nearly forgot it was there when I was cutting up that transfer sheet.
There was a dash.
There was a little dash, a little mini dash, as I ran across the room. Because I didn't run, I lunged. Because I suddenly forgot.
Wow, that's all exercising while we're cooking chocolate.
Maybe I need to turn this into like fitness hour. Fitness hour. Somebody said to me the other day, it might be somebody on here, and she said to me she'd been watching me demonstrate and she was so engrossed she'd ended up doing an extra load of time on an exercise bike. She couldn't understand why she was so tired that day. She'd been so glued to watching. I thought that was quite funny. Tiny bit more and we're there. Right. Okay. Let's go on camera and have a look, shall we? There we go. So that's what we've got. Okay, you can see it trailing. And we're going to use it like that. That will be fine. So, yeah, it was Angela. It was you. Do you know what? I knew who it was, and I thought I'm not going to say in case they don't want me to reveal their secrets, you see. So I better not say anything. Right, let's just cut the bit off the edge here. There's some, that made me laugh, that Angela. Now I've got some circle cutters here, so I've got those ones there for my baubles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of chocolate on here. Make sure this is rough side up. And then we're going to just spread this. Or we're going to move just to not help me out here. Now it will go dull relatively quickly, mainly because it's cold in here. Let's pick that up. See how quickly that's setting. It's phenomenally quick. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Let's do another one while we're waiting. Let's do another design, shall we, Cal? What should we do? A bit Gingerbread Men.
Do the snowman.
Oh, I'll do the snowman in a minute. Let's do this one. Well, I'm going to pipe those, I think. Okay, it's already my chocolate setting really quickly. So let's put a bit more on this one. Am I still on screen? Yes, I am. Okay, I'm getting in a mess, but that's all right. Doesn't matter. Now you can see.
Okay.
Sorry, Kelly. Yeah.
I don't know. My screen is just a picture of the table.
Is it?
Yeah. Maybe I need to refresh.
Okay. Right. So you can see already this is started to set. I'm going to ignore the stuff in the bowl for the moment, and we're going to cut out some baubles for our tree. So all we're going to do, but while this is still on the sheet, is literally take this and turn this metal cutter as fast as we can through this chocolate before it completely sets. Now I'm putting my finger through each time to make sure it doesn't lift, because what we don't want to do is the transfer sheet to lift off, otherwise it's going to go wrong. It's set really quick actually. Okay, so I'm just holding that down. Right, so that's the snowflake sheets. Let's just do this one. So we'll do the same. If you get any of these left over, they're really good for tops of cupcakes as well. So don't throw them away or eat them.
Yeah, I was about to say or snacks.
Or snacks. Lunchbox snacks.
Or just while you're making something else, snacks.
Okay, so just make sure as best you can these do not lift off the sheet, because they will try and pull away. Okay, right, that's lot number one. So that's all the baubles done. Let's put these in the fridge out of the way. And you'll see already that the chocolate has set super quick. Now, some people have been pulling their transfer sheets off at this point. That's too early. Even if the transfers are pulling, you need to make sure that they're completely set. So you must put it back in the fridge. Okay, it's got to go in the fridge.
Just regarding your green board, what size is it?
What? My green board?
The one that you've just put all the things on.
I don't know. How big do you reckon that is? Somewhere between an A4 and an A5?
Oh, A4.
Is it? I don't know.
100%. A5's tinier than that. A5 is half an A4.
All right, somewhere between A4 and A5. Right, you can see that set already. So we're going to put that back in the microwave because I want to use it for something else. Where are we? Let's cancel that. So if your chocolate's setting really quickly, that's a really good sign that it's tempered properly, which is what you want. And then we'll do the snowman this way. So we'll give it another 10 seconds.
Will the sharp white plastic cutters work to cut the circles out?
Yes, they should be fine. They should be, as long as the edge is thin enough, because metal cutters have a really lovely sharp edge. Depending on the brand of the circle cutters, just try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't matter, does it? But a set of circle cutters is a brilliant investment. Definitely. Best thing I ever bought. Set of circle cutters. Put that on your Christmas list. Right, okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pipe some individual shapes over the snowman transfer so we can get some mini snowmen off.
How much are the cutters?
Oh, I've no idea. You'd have to go. I don't know if Carol's got them on her site. You'd have to go on Sugar and Crumbs for that. I don't know is the answer to that. Go and have a look and see what she's got. I don't sell metal cutters, I'm afraid. So They're normally, I mean, the ones I've got tins of, the tin of metal cut is only about £15, something like that. But you only need one set, and honestly, that's all you need. Is just great. Right, I'm just going to put some of this tempered chocolate into a piping bag. So I'm slightly off screen for the moment because I discovered I can't get my piping bag. Can you take that, Kelly, for me, under the camera? There you go. Right, that's what we've got. Piping bag with chocolate in it. So I might attempt to remain working tidy. I'm just having a quick clear up. Right, okay. I need to sell circle cutters. Right, I'll get you some. Okay, there we go. Right. So this is the snowman one, and what we're going to do, we're going to isolate these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a really tiny end off this, and I'm going to pipe just over the top of these little snowmen like this. And what I have found, you can make these fantastic mini decorations, and they are completely brilliant because you can use them on all sorts of Christmas treats. So you can use them on cupcakes, you can use them on the tree that I'm going to be using them on. But they are tiny little snowmen because you just basically just pipe your chocolate straight over the top of the snowman. Okay. So I'm just going to follow this round for a minute. If you've got loads on the sheet and they're getting in the way, you can always come back. So you can sort of miss some out. I'm just going to get rid of part of the bag because it's getting in my way. It's better. The chocolate's setting very quickly. Just head over them like this. I'm going to try and make a snowman garland. That's the plan anyway, if it works. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't work, wow, never mind.
You can put it on a cupcake.
You can put it on a cupcake, or I can give it to Kelly, can't I, Cal?
Yep.
Or the next door neighbours. Our next door neighbours are rather well fed, aren't they?
Mm. Make everyone else in the neighbourhood fat so you feel thin. That's words of advice that I've learnt this year.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We do give the neighbours quite a lot of cake experiments, don't they? Right, okay. So you can see I've done a few there. They look a bit strange and you're probably thinking, what is she doing? But honestly, this is so good. It's so lovely. I wanted to make sure I do a load so we can get at least one garland out of it. So just work your way across it. And again, remember what I was saying about using the transfer. So you can just use a little bit. You don't have to use the whole sheet. They do last up to 2 years. So once you've got them, if you use half of it this year, you'll still be able to use half of it next year. As long as you keep them stored, we give them out in big plastic bags with, you just roll them up, keep them out of the heat and the light, keep them dry, and they'll be fine. You'll be able to use those next year as well. So if you suddenly think, oh, I wouldn't mind having a go at this, but I haven't really got much left to do, you can always store them until next year as well anyway. Now they do go out of stock quite quickly. We've got Mr. Santa, I think, is the one that's about to sell out. So if anybody's looking for the Santa Claus one, you will need to act quickly on that one because it is starting to sell out. This is getting very...
Yeah, I'm literally looking at this.
What's that? Is it set over there? Yeah, it's getting really, really... We'll just put it in the microwave for a second. Hopefully that'll give it a bit of a blast so I can do something with it. Hold on. Yeah, that's marginally better. It's just getting to the point where I couldn't do anything with it then. Okay. So keep going. Also as well, if you have bought any of these off me, these transfer sheets, hopefully I've given you lots and lots of ideas of all these different things you can do with them. So you don't just, you can make lollies, you can make shards, you can make these little individual decorations. I've got more ideas coming tomorrow and the weekend as well. So there's loads of different things you can do. We made a novelty cup last week with them. So there's infinite possibilities with these, and that's why I like them so much, because there's so many different designs and you can basically just keep going. So we're nearly there. Just want to make sure I've got loads, but the chocolate is getting more and more difficult to pipe now. I'm going to speed up a little bit just for the chocolate's benefit. You can see the ones I did at the start now are already set, but we'll put them in the fridge. So as I said to you before, somebody's mentioned to me they were having trouble with the transfers sticking to the chocolate. You do need to put them in the fridge. It's absolutely crucial, okay? I know they will peel off at this point, but they will not be ready, okay? So please put them in the fridge.
How much are transfer sheets?
They range from anything from £3.50 to £5.25, and it largely depends on the design. So the more colour there is on a sheet, the more expensive it is. I think the Mr. Snowman, this transfer one, is about £4.25 off the top of my head. But they are huge, these sheets. They are absolutely massive. Right, I'm going to give up because it's not going to take it anymore. Right, so I've done that on there. So that's quite a lot, I think. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that in the fridge. And then we can go from there. I'm just going to switch my hot glue gun back on again. So again, let's send these off to the fridge. Pop those in. Oh, actually no, we've got a bit of painting to do. I won't do that just yet. Right, okay, so what we're going to do now is I made some, let's come back on again. Let's press the screen. There we go. So earlier today, I made some chocolate moulds. Now it would be done in the same way that we've done before, so you're going to be tempering your chocolate exactly like what I've just done, and then putting them into moulds. Now I've put them into 2 or 3 different moulds. I have done stars. Let me get those out so you can see those. So this is our star mould. Here we go. Da, da, da. I'll show you on the other camera. Okay, that's the star mould. Okay, so I made these with dark chocolate earlier today. We're going to use these on our tree. These are available from our website, so tracyscakes.co.uk. And then we've also got on my pink board, let's bring these in as well, I've made some snowman, which has come from this mould here. So this is the Snowman Lollipop mould. Now I showed a 3D snowman last week and it sold out instantly. We do have a few of these as well, but again, if you do see it and you want it, do go to the website straight away because we will sell out. We're on countdown now for everything, so we've now got limited availability on things, and it is marked on the website. There aren't many of these, so if you're interested in this, then do pop over and have a look. But what I've done is I've made them without the lollipop sticks in them. I've left them out so that I can put them on the tree. Right, let's come back on again. So what we're going to do, we're going to paint some of these. I quite like to paint some of the bits and pieces, and we're going to do that with cocoa butter. So again, what we're doing is we're building all this ready for when we put our tree together. So there'll be a few bits and pieces and then we'll be able to start putting it all together. Right, cocoa butter, let's get that organised.
Are you still doing Thursday morning?
I am here tomorrow morning, yes. Yes, I will be. And if you miss me on a Thursday morning, because I was on Thursday morning, I started Thursday mornings in March when lockdown first started, and then obviously people have gone back to work as well. So if you have gone back to work and you're missing Thursday mornings, you can still watch it on catch up. So all these demonstrations that are done on Sugar and Crumbs will stay on the site. So if you ever want to go back and see anything, you can go back on and have a look. So if you miss tomorrow mornings, then do go back and have a look in the evening. Come home and watch it. So you'll be able to see it there.
And when does your 7 Xmas cake painting set offer expire?
Which one's that? The Christmas course. Right, all my courses that are currently on my website, I'm going to take my website down now, are on offer until the 25th of December. So from the 25th of December, they will change back again because we've got some new courses coming in. But the ones that are on offer, which is wildlife, animals, and handbags, painted handbags, floral handbags, and what was the one we just said? The Christmas one. Yeah, they are all there. Okay, if you're unable, someone says they're unable to get on their website, just email me and that's fine. I'll help you. So don't worry about that. Just come to me if you're struggling. One thing I will say about my website specifically is that PayPal and Stripe, which is the system that we have attached to our website, when you order anything, please put your postcode in exactly as it looks. So in capital letters, for example, HP, and then your numbers, Gap, and then the rest of it. So don't put in lowercase and put it all together, because the payment system will just throw it all out. It is very specific about what it's looking for, because lots of people say we can't get through the system, and it's usually the postcodes that are sending the system a little bit crazy. So that's the problem with that. Right, let's have a look at cocoa butter. So I've brought in this system here, which you can see at the bottom. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to create some heat by using one of these. This is a chrome food warmer. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to light the candle in the middle, or the tea light, like so. There we go. And I'm just going to pop this metal paint palette over the top. Now, if you put these cocoa butters on here, if you don't have a system like this, you can just use a hot water, so boiling water in a bowl. Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Losing my train of thought there. And you can just have to keep reheating it, basically. So if you want to paint like that way, that's absolutely fine. You'll watch the cocoa butter will start to melt, so that would be very good.
Do you have to order so much to get like £40 to get postage? Free postage, sorry.
We don't do free postage, I'm afraid. There's only basically free postage on classes because they're free, but there isn't any, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. It's all done by weight on our site, so if you want to buy anything, it just adds up in terms of weight. Right, let's get some colours out. Let's get some really nice colours for you to have a look at. So we have got, where's that claret wine one? I had a red. So let's go for red, going for gold rush. Now we've got some very nice metallic golds. I don't know why I picked out gooseberry green, and that's the wrong colour, isn't it? What other colours are we going to use, Cal? Oh, black. Gold. Yeah, I've got gold. We've got gold rush. Black. We've got red. What else has he got? Oh, brown. A bit of brown for the snowman. The snowman's thing. There we go, a bit brown there as well. So you'll see there it's starting to melt, and we're going to mix this with dusting colours, okay? So dusting colours is what you need to use for cocoa butter. Please do not try and use anything else. Do not try and use things like, basically the colour that I use to colour the buttercream, the gels. Don't use the gels, you've got to use the dusts, otherwise it won't stick. So my paintbrushes that I've got, they're all numbered. I'm just cleaning one up because I've been using black on it earlier. So these are the paintbrushes here. You can see this one, his paintbrush number 1. So I do a lot of teaching in cocoa butter, and my students will know that I refer back mainly to these numbers. So I'll say, now pick up brush number 1, now pick up brush number 2, whatever it is that we're doing. And then I'm able to make sure they're using the right brush as well. That mainly applies to the later courses, because prior to that, we didn't have our own brushes, but we do now. So these are brushes that I use specifically on my courses. Okay, just making sure these are going to come out. Right, okay, so we need some kitchen roll, which we have. Right, let me find my board. It's here in front of me. What am I doing? Okay. Right, let's start off with something simple. So I've got some presents here. So we've got a present mould that's on the site as well. So we've got presents, snowmen and stars. Pass me some stars, Cal. Kelly's taking the stars out for me. Thank you.
I'll have to eat that one.
That's it. Right. So these are the stars. They're really pretty. Okay. So let's start with those. Better than those ones. Let's use those ones. You like it when I name the brushes. It is easier if I tell you what brush to use. It really is. It just makes it so much quicker. There you go. and also it helps you to identify what it is that you're doing. So let's start with these. So we're going to use brush number 2. This is the most popular brush that we've got. It's the one that I tend to use the most, and we're going to use this colour here. It's called Gold Rush. Whoops, now this is the only slight problem with luster colours, is you don't just get a little bit out, you get the entire pot. So let me move this back a little bit so you can see. Turn it round, there you go. I'm trying to remain on screen at the same time without, this is like not far off my lap at the moment. Right, okay, let's move this out of the way. There we go. Right, so what we're going to do is take this brush and we're going to dip it into the cocoa butter, pick up some of this luster colour, like so. Now what you'll find is with cocoa butter and luster colour that you need a lot of dust to get a decent sort of mix. It seems to really absorb the cocoa butter, so just keep an eye out for this. It's the only one that does it in the lusters. It doesn't seem to do it on the matte colours, but it does particularly on the lusters. And what we're going to do with this is I'm literally just going to paint them. Now I like the look of this when it's done. It looks quite rustic rather than going for complete coverage. I'll pick one up in a minute so you can see what it looks like.
Just a quick question. Rose asks, how long does the paintbrushes last before you have to change them?
Okay, well I'm still using the same set of paintbrushes and I'm painting every single day and demonstrating with these brushes. So I have not changed my brushes. Gosh, I only changed my brushes, I can't find them. So I can't see that you will need to. A second set won't do you any harm, but I think you'll find once you've got the brushes, you're going to be fine. As long as you don't use them for other things, you see. If you keep them specifically for your painting and not for dusting and doing all sorts of other things, they should last. So they're well worth getting and holding on tight to, not mixing them up with anything else, because it is tempting to just take them and start dipping them in the sugar glue, and suddenly next thing you know you're doing something with gels. Just try and keep them for, I'm going to pick one of these up so you can have a look at it, okay?
Someone just said, you made my life easier. I was painting the mould and it always looked awful. Now I'll paint them once they come out.
Oh dear. Okay, that's what they look like. So they're quite sort of rusticy looking, which I quite like. So, but again, if you wanted them to be a solid colour, what you would do is you would just let them dry and then you would do it, okay? So you would then paint them again. Never paint anything that's just come straight out of the fridge. Always let it warm up to room temperature first. So this is why these are always done in advance. I don't usually do moulds live because I don't have enough time for them to warm up again. So when they come out the fridge, if you try and paint them when they come out the fridge with cocoa butter, the cocoa butter will immediately set, and then you'll find that you just won't be able to paint them. It will go on in great big clumps. So these have been at room temperature for most of the afternoon. Whenever you put stuff into the fridge, just use it for setting, don't use it for anything else. So we're talking like 20 minutes and then bring it all out. So don't have it in there for too long. Okay, and they dry really quickly. So the first one I've done now is completely dry, and the others are heading that way quite quickly as well. In the summer it takes much longer for everything to dry because it's warmer, but at the moment, and it really is quite cold at the moment, everything is setting really quite quickly, so you won't have a problem there. Okay, so I'll just keep going. So we'll do a few of these. We've got quite a big tree, or we could go for a split. Do you want to go for a split, Cal? 50-50?
Sure, okay. Yes.
We'll go for a split. So we'll have some of them gold and some of them dark chocolate. So we'll just do this last one, and then we'll keep the others dark. So this is Gold Rush, I think the colour is. Yeah, it's called Gold Rush. It's a dusting colour. It's a very nice dusting colour. There we go. All right, so let's keep those there. There we go. So we've got a contrast there. Contrast is always really good, so I don't mind doing that at all. Now let's move on to the presents. Now we're going to change colour here. We're going to go to red. So this is a matte colour. So this is not, actually I need white as well. Is that white gone? There it is. We're going to use white and red, both matte colours. So remember that the Gold Rush was a metallic colour, so it will behave slightly differently. We're going to switch brushes. We're going down to a smaller brush now. We're going down to brush, what have we got here? Number 1. brush number 1, just make sure it's clean, there's nothing in it that we don't want. So just dip it in the cocoa butter, just double check that it's okay. And we're just going to take hold of a couple of these presents. Now I was going to put these around the bottom of the tree. I wasn't going to put them in the tree, although having said that, I may change my mind when I start putting it all together. You never know. And I'm just going to bring this round a bit so we can see. So again, just start mixing. You'll find that this will combine much easier than the lustres. You can see it mix up very quickly. So the thicker the paint, the better the coverage. So if the paint's really thin, you're going to get not very good coverage. So just more cocoa butter you pile in there, the thinner the paint. So on these moulds here, they have little bows. You can see the little bows that are there. So you can literally just paint the bows. Where am I on this camera? Right, there we go. So you can literally, if you've got a little hole as well, you can just dab your paintbrush in there just to cover it up. And just follow. Let's get a bit more cocoa butter. So you can paint these up any colour you want, doesn't matter. Any dust with cocoa butter, it's entirely up to you, whatever you like. So you can do lots of different colours, so you can write names on them and paint the whole thing if you want to. You don't just have to paint the bow. Or you could colour the chocolate in the first instance, so you can take your chocolate and mix in some dusting colour or something like Colour Mill, change the colour of the chocolate and then paint your bows a different colour. Another idea for you. Or you can use candy melts in these moulds as well, that does work. So if you want to use those, that's also okay. So I'm just going to do a bit of ribbon around this one on the side. Don't need to be too specific about it, but if you wanted to get ahead with this, you could always paint all of your chocolates sort of a couple of days before, as long as you keep them sealed. There's no reason why you can't do these in advance, rather than put yourself under pressure, like doing it live. There's nothing like doing it live to put yourself under pressure. There we go. All right. And then round the back of here as well, a little bit more. So they're fairly quick. It doesn't take that long to do them. There we go. So there's one there. And then I can let that dry, and I can also then put a different colour over the top. So if I wanted to do, say, let's do a big one as well. So if I wanted to do like some white spots or something, I could do that. Once it's dry, it's got to be dry first before I start adding in any more colours. All right, so if you want to paint over the top of it, it's got to be dry first. So this is the bigger one. It's also on the same mould. It's quite big, this mould. Kelly, how many presents are on that present mould?
1, 2.
It's next to me. She's going to count for you. It's quite a lot.
9.
It's more than 9, isn't it? 2, 4,
17.
17. So you get 17 presents.
17 snacks.
17 snacks, there you go, or 17 cupcakes, all on one mould, okay? So if you want to, this is a really good mould actually, it's only $4.50 and it is on my website. So if you're thinking about investing in any mould as well, and also with the present mould, it's not just Christmas, you can use it for birthdays and anything else. So if this is, and also the stars I think is the same, you can use that one all year round. And the what?
Bows.
And the bow mould, yeah, and the bow mould you could do.
Oh, does the dust melt if you colour the chocolate first?
Does the what?
Dust melt? I guess, does the dust melt into the chocolate, like once it's melted?
No, I don't think so. Does the dust melt?
Like, does it combine into the chocolate?
No, it's just, everything I'm doing is just sitting on top of the chocolate.
No, this is when you're mixing.
Oh, I see.
Dust into
Right, okay, sorry, I'm on the wrong page here. So if you wanted to colour your chocolate and you're going to do it with dusting colours, all you need to do is melt your chocolate, and then what I suggest you do is remove about 2 or 3 tablespoons of your chocolate and then mix in some dust, and you have to really beat it in there, really mix it really hard. And then what you can do is then recombine it back into the main chocolate and then stir it. And the reason being is because sometimes it can be difficult to get any lumps out of the dust, and then what happens is you spread the lumps throughout the entire batch and it's really difficult to control. So if you just do it in a really small bit to start with, and then you can work it out from there. Does that make sense?
with the present mould, because it's quite deep, can you put a filling in? If so, how would you do that?
Yep, you could do that. So first thing you'd need to do is put some chocolate into the mould, and then so you could fill it up, or you could take a paintbrush and just put some chocolate around the outside edge just to create a seal, and then you can fill it up with something, so praline or ganache or something like that, pipe that in the middle, and then just overfill it with the chocolate, and that will be fine. Yes, you can. They are deep enough to do that, the present moulds. The star ones perhaps not. I think the star ones are too shallow.
Yeah. Same with the bows.
And the bows, you wouldn't be able to do it on that, but certainly the present mould, yeah, no problem, you should be able to do that. That's fine. You can see you paint them up quite quickly. They really don't take very long. Let's do one more. I'm doing them all the same colour, Kelly. I've just not even...
I know, but they're nice.
I know. I'm trying to be fairly consistent this evening. Let's do another one. And then we've got a selection, haven't we? And then I'll show you the not the Father Christmas, the Snowman, how to do him. If you want to paint him, you don't ever have to paint any of this. I mean, you can just have them as they are. So if you prefer them just to be chocolates, that's great, no problem. Just make them as chocolates and put them under the tree. Or if you want to fiddle about and decorate them, which is definitely my bag, then you can sit and paint them. And the cocoa butter doesn't taste of anything, so it's not going to alter the taste. You won't know it's on there, it's just a decoration. Sometimes people ask me, does it actually taste of anything? The answer to that is no, it does not taste of anything. So, and because the colour's on the outside as well, there's not too much colour running through the whole thing either. So it's a win-win, isn't it? Completely. Right, there we go. So we've got a few presents there to go on our thing as well, so there we go. Right, let's have a little look at our snowman. So let's have a look at painting him quickly. Let's see if we can do a few of those. I'm going to put those over there. Might come back and do another couple in a minute. Let's do the snowman, then at least I feel like we're moving along. So I'm just going to take my brush and just clean it out just to make sure there's no colour left in here. Or I can switch brushes, so if you have a second set of brushes you can always move on to that one. I've got a bit of both actually, to be honest. I've got some second brushes, but I tend to just use the same brushes all the time. This is brush 1, but actually the brush I do need is brush 2, which is the one that had the gold in it. So let's just get rid of that. You can swill this out with water if you want to, but I just find cocoa butter just does the same job, so I'm just going to happily stick with this method. It seems to work okay, so that's fine by me. Okay, right, so snowman. So we're going to turn him white first. I'm just going to pick up some of the white dusting colour, and I'm just going to stipple some of the colour over him. Let's find one. Let's go for that one. I'm being fussy about my snowman now. So all I'm going to do is take this and just literally... Now, if you're going to do this, I do recommend you stipple this. If you try and paint it flat, it looks terrible. It looks much better done like this. So if you start painting it on like this, it just looks horrible. I think the effect you get with this is a bit more like a snowman as well, and you can partially see through it, which is quite nice as well. So just going to stipple that onto the chocolate. He's holding a broom in his hand, so we're going to miss that bit out there. Go around the back of there. And again, these are quite quick and they dry really quickly. This is a much smaller version than the one I did last week, which was huge. But we've sold out of that one really, really quickly. We'll have to bring that one back next year. We'll have to wait for next year for that one. Okay. So we'll go over his face. It is a little bit like painting by numbers. You just need to have the right kind of equipment to do it. So everything is there for you. I'm not trying to make this up. I can see where everything is. So there you go. That's that. In fact, I'm going to do a couple because then I've got a second one ready. You can see how quick they're done then. Like that. So again, it doesn't matter actually with the white if you clip anything because you can just paint straight over it. So you don't have to be particularly cautious with this. It's quite a nice activity for kids to do as well. Just sit and do some painting, but you will need to supervise them because obviously that there is heat involved with this, with a metal paint palette. So you would need to be around to make sure they don't touch it. Because it can get quite hot, but it is quite a nice thing to do. Sit and paint some snowmen lollies. That's not a bad activity, is it? I think you'd like that, Kelly, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, even now.
kids. I know, I always say this.
I would have done this as a kid.
I know. Well, I would have made you do this for sure, definitely. I always say this about I always talk about my kids, but my kids are old now, aren't you, Cal?
I'm old, I'm 20.
She's not that old. So there you go. So that's the snowman bit so far. Right, let's do what we're going to do. Let's do the broom, and we'll also do the hat. I'm probably gone off screen a little bit, so I'll just turn it round in a second. Let me just put the cocoa butter on. So I've got a little bit of cocoa butter there. So I've got brown here. So I'm just going to take my brush number 1, and this is neat brown. That's a bit too strong to start with, so I'm going to pick up some white and just tone it down a little bit. There we go, so it's a little bit paler. And what we'll do is we will put that on the bottom half of the brush. So we'll just paint it in, like so. Again, it's all there for you. You don't need to make anything up. Like that. And then we will, just take a bit more white, turn it down a bit more, and make this the top part of the brush. Like that. Same on that one. If you do 2 at a time, you see it's quite quick. Save you a bit of time if you wanted to do a couple. There is a brilliant trick with the brush as well, but I'll show you that later. I'll wait for it to dry first. Just take hold of a little bit of the dark brown. I'm just going to put a little line in there just to split the 2 up. There we go. And then we'll just clean our brush. Right, so the big snowmen, I'm going to have to get more big snowmen next year, aren't I? I failed there. Well, I spotted it at the last minute and suddenly thought, oh, that's nice. And then I couldn't get enough, which was a bit of a nuisance. It's too late now. So I will bring my bigger snowmen in earlier next year. Somebody asked me if they were suitable for doing these hot chocolate bomb things, but they're just too big. I don't think they'd fit in a cup, so I wouldn't use them for that. But they are really lovely. The little snowmen though are just as sweet, to be honest. Right, let's do his hat. So I've got a bit of black here. Probably not enough looking at this, but anyway, we'll give it a go. So the black should, don't forget you've got the top of his hat as well. Probably need to just pick the chocolate up for that, so you make sure you covered it. I'll bring the big snowman back next year. I'll bring him back earlier and I'll get more of them. As I say, he was discovered at the last possible minute and I thought, oh no. But the candy cane moulds are in. If anybody wants a candy cane mould, they are now back in again, which is what I used for the handle on the cup last week. So we ran out of those as well. It went a bit mad last week, so I think everybody was a bit captivated with the whole cup thing I did. So if anybody missed it, it's on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel, Tracy Man Cakes. You can see it on there, or it's also on Sugar and Crumbs. If you scroll back and look for last Tuesday evening, you'll find it on there as well. But if you do want to, I'm going to have to put some more colour in here. I haven't got enough. Yeah, if you want to find it quick, it's on my YouTube channel and you'll see the whole thing there. I've got it here anyway, so I'll show you what I mean at the end. But we are starting to run out of things now, so that includes transfers, moulds, everything, because we've had our last deliveries from the suppliers now. So anything on my website says limited availability is limited availability now. And also I will warn you about the post. The post is still incredibly slow. It's very erratic, so you might get something next day or it might take up to 2 weeks. So if you've got any Christmas presents or anything you want to order, or you're having an inspirational moment this evening and think, oh, I want to do that, then get your order in as quick as you can, because we are shipping every single day at the moment in order to try and meet demand, and we haven't got any outstanding orders at the moment. So hopefully we're getting everything out as fast as we can. So there's the little hat on there. Okay, and now let's put the eyes on. So I'm just going to take a little, again, it's all there for you. You can just about see them. I'll put a little nose in there as well. There isn't a smile, but I think I'm going to put one in. I'm going to make one up.
Happy Snowman.
Happy Snowman. There we go. He's got his little buttons there as well. Doesn't seem quite right with him not having a smile, so I've given him a smile. Okay, you can adapt these as well, you know, if you wanted to change them around, you can do that. There we go, happy snowman. And we'll do his buttons as well. So this is actually a lollipop mould, but I haven't done it like that. I've taken the stick out rather than, I'm just going to put a tiny bit more black in his eye there. Yeah, I've taken the stick out. So any mould that you get, like we've got reindeer mould and things, you don't have to have the stick in. You can always pull the stick out and then just use it for something else. So next week we're going to be doing, next Tuesday night, we're going to be doing all the little pots. So we're going to show you all the little ideas you can do with the pots, with the transfers. So oops, I don't need any more red. We'll be wrapping pots. So making lots of mini cakes. There's mini gifts. If you're doing hampers or anything like that, you have some nice ideas for you. So I'm just going to paint his scarf. There we go. So I'm now going to switch the hot glue gun on before I forget, because I probably will. Just going to paint down the side of him there. So you can customise these and say you can do what you like with them really, and that's what I quite like about these moulds, especially now I'm starting to get people as clearly making stuff for Christmas now. I've been tagged in a few pictures. If you make anything using our products, then do please tag me in them. It's quite nice to see them. Somebody sent me a picture today of a Christmas tree they'd painted silver, and that looked really nice in chocolate. And also ruby chocolate painted with a dusting colour called claret wine is also a really stunning colour. I did that over the weekend and that looks really nice as well. So have a look, and if you do anything just let me know so I can see what you've done, because it's interesting how people interpret things in a different way. So there we go. So look, you can paint these little snowman chocolates quite quickly. There we go. We're just going to put a tiny little bit of white in his eye, and then we're going to get all our bits and pieces out and start assembling our Christmas tree. So we're getting there. Right. Take a tiny bit of white and just put a little spot in his eye, and it just brightens them up a little bit. Like so. There we go. All right. So that's all the painting we're going to do. We'll leave those for another day. We're going to just use these little bits here. So we've got a few presents, a few stars, a few snowmen, and we will go from there. Right, okay, let's have a little move around. Let's get things moving. Right, Kelly, I'm going to pass this over to you. Can you take this out of the way as you blow that candle out as well, because you know what's going to happen. Over there. Right, okay. That's it. Right. Okay, so we're just having a little shift around now. We're reorganising. Let's just get rid of our dusts and get them out of the way. Right. So we've got some space. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
Questions. What does ruby chocolate taste like? We talk about
over to you, Nikki. She knows because I sent her some.
If you painted these a few days in advance, could you keep them in the fridge but still keep the shine on it?
Don't keep them in the fridge, because if you keep anything in the fridge you'll get condensation. So once you've painted any chocolates you need to leave them out. Don't use the fridge to store anything, okay? The fridge is no good for storage. It's good for setting things, but you don't want to store anything in the fridge, okay? We want to make sure it's out of the fridge. Right, let's go back to the cake. So I'm going to change screens again, and we're going to bring this back in again. You can see my green cake there. Let's make sure we can move it, which we can. Okay, so now I've got my hot glue gun here. Make sure I can reach it. And all I'm going to do is very quickly put some hot glue on here, like so, and then I'm going to immediately stand this on it. Make sure it's in the middle. Okay. I'll move it back a little bit so you can see it. So it's off the ground. Okay, I can put my hand underneath it. All right, like so. Right, phew, that was successful. Let's turn that off. Just wipe my hands a bit because they're covered in green. Right, so we've got this now up, ready to start piping. Oh, actually, I need to do one more thing with that hot glue gun while I remember. Well, we've still got a remote amount of glue left in it. And that is, I've got a star here. And all I'm going to do, this is one I cut out earlier. All I'm going to do is just put a bit of glue down the back. Just take my skewer, let's get it around the right way, and just attach it to the back there, like so. That will go in the top of my cake. It's quite big, this star, actually, to be perfectly honest, but anyway, there we go. That's how big it came out. If I want to make sure it's not going to come off, I can always go across with the hot glue gun, but as we run out of glue, I won't be doing that. Right, so I've got my star, so let's put that over there. Kelly, don't forget where I put it. Right, okay, let's move on. So I've got a variety of nozzles to do this. So I have got, I'm going to say this now. If you forget, I will probably remind you once more, then you'll need to look back on it. So I've got nozzle 1M, which is a Wilton nozzle. I've also got this one here, which is number 16. Okay, so that's another sort of star nozzle. And I was going to use this one as well, which is one of Carol's nozzles, one of the Russian nozzles. It says 5L Nifty Nozzles Tulip. So it's this one here. That's the nozzle I'm going to use for this particular cake. Okay, so we've got those three there, so you know what they are. And we're going to use our green. Now let's get the transfers out of the fridge. Let's see what's happened there. So that's the first lot. Let's move my cake out of the way for a second. And my little snowman as well. So gosh, I need more space. Let's put that over there. Let's move that down there. There we go. I've got so much going on, I haven't got enough room. Right, okay. So let's have a look at the discs first. So these were the discs that we did earlier. So they have now, these have now created me some baubles. Oh, see, they should just fall out. Someone's going to say to me, what do you do with this chocolate? And the answer is
Eat it.
Eat it. No, you can
Give it to Kelly.
you actually can remelt it, but we're going to use these to make our baubles on our cake. So if I hold that up, you'll be able to see what they've done. You see they've imprinted on the chocolate there. Okay, so I'll leave that there. Right, and we've also got the other ones, snowflake ones. Right, let's bring those over. Hold on, I've gone off camera, haven't I? I've just realised. There's the snowflake ones. Like that. You see, because they've got the milk chocolate behind it, they really show up. Whereas if we'd got white, you wouldn't be able to see them very clearly. There we go. So we've got a few of those as well. You're laughing. What have I done?
Jackie goes, give it to Kelly, and Nikki goes, well done, Kelly, you were straight in there.
Right, I'm giving you that, Kelly.
Yay!
Right, so I have given her some stuff now.
Scraps.
And then scraps. And then these, look at this. This has to be the most loveliest little thing ever that I discovered last week. I'm so enraptured with these. The possibilities with these are just, look at them. They are so sweet.
Do we have any ruby chocolate in stock?
Yes, I think. Do we? I think so. Yeah, we do. There we go. There's the little mini snowmen. How about that? That is so lovely. They are so sweet. So we're going to use those as a little garland on this as well. So we've got those ready. So we've got all our decorations to hand. So everything is ready to go. They are cute, aren't they? Right. Okay. So let's get into a muddle with the buttercream now. Let's turn the camera down this side. There we go. So we're just going to give our buttercream a little bit of a mix. Hopefully I've got enough to do this. You never know till you get going. As I said to you before, I'm a massive overestimator with this, so the chances are I've got more than enough. Right, so just going to take one bag. Now don't overfill your piping bags. People are obsessed with putting as much in as possible, and you really don't need to.
It comes out the top.
Oh, it comes out the top, it gets everywhere, and it's just uncomfortable. You don't need to fill your pipe, overfill it. That's about enough, okay? No more than that. I'm just going to put that to one side, so that's the star nozzle. And then I'm looking at that nozzle, actually. I may not use that one, I may just use these two. That one might be too big, it might come out too far. Yeah, I'm just going to stick to these two. Actually, I'm not going to use the other one. I'm going to use these two. There we go. So we're going to use 16 and 1M because I think this one might be too big, so I'm just going to leave that out the way for the moment. Right, let's bring this in. Move it out the way so you can see it, so we get to the bottom. Okay, so what we'll do is we will start at the bottom, and we're just going to do a variety of patterns. So remember, it's off the ground, just remember that. So we'll start at the bottom here, and we will just do a swirl to start with, just to get ourselves, just to get our confidence going. And then we'll put a few little ones in there, then we'll do another one. So we're going to go for a variety of patterns here. And then we'll take our smaller nozzle here, and we'll just do a few little mixed ones. Now I find if you just mix up these nozzles, you get this really nice effect. Okay, so I'm just going to swirl that there. So this is number 16 and a 1M nozzle. And then we'll put another one there and another one there. Now don't forget, you're going to be sticking things to this as well, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then again, we'll do another one there. So I'm going to go around the bottom to start with. Now it's moving on the turntable, which is totally unhelpful. This is the exciting bit. You see, we've made everything now. We can now put it all together. Just going to hold that steady. So use the smaller nozzle just to create some sort of different areas. So if you look at the whole thing, you're getting this sort of slightly different effect because you are changing the nozzles. You're not just sticking with one. And then you can start working fairly quickly with this once you get going.
This does remind me of the Grinch.
Are you saying this?
Yeah, it does remind me of the Grinch. I like it.
Okay, that's all right then. Right, I'm just going to put some more buttercream in my bag. So you're going to use the majority of the buttercream on the lower half of the cake. As you start to go up, you'll suddenly start decreasing quite rapidly the amount you need to use. Just make sure I've got any air in it. There we go. Take this one again. Now when you do this, you need to have all your decorations ready because you want to be able to take advantage of the buttercream being nice and soft so that you can then stick your decorations on straight away. So if you pipe this, walk away and then come back, you'll probably find that it's all set and you can't get anything to stick. So you want to have everything ready so that you can then stick everything together. Nearly around the bottom. Yeah, so you want to make sure you just mix your nozzles up, okay? Really mix them up, it's quite important. Let's get some more green. I think it's going to be tight. We might make it, Kelly. If not, we'll be making up more buttercream.
Oh, good.
I know, only you'd be pleased about that. Right. Okay. So let's start going up the cake a bit. So it's just lots and lots of different shapes. To give you this kind of just more interesting looking tree than just a plain piped tree. Yep, don't forget to like and share. A chance to win one of Carol's vouchers. Get in there. It's quite tight for buttercream, Cal.
What do you want me to do? I don't know what you want me to do.
No, you have got some more, but it is quite tight. As in, very. As in, we might end up with a two-tone tree here. But that's okay, we don't mind. Do we?
No.
Just say yes.
Yes.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Right, it's all stuck to a bowl here. Let's get this out. There we go. I know this is going to have air in it in any second. There it goes. Looking good. So the thing is with this, if you have two different size nozzles, then if you end up with a small gap anywhere, you can just fill it in with the little one. Quick, Kelly, start mixing up some green. I'm not joking, she might have to actually. I don't know, we're sort of almost, Kelly, look. Might be alright. It's very tight. There's the green there.
Okay, well. Do you want the whole bowl dyed that colour? Oh, put that in there.
If I put that in there, then you could just mix up a little bit more. Probably don't need the whole bowl, no. Right, got Kelly, assistant Kelly is now mixing buttercream. Right. I'm watching you, honestly. A little bit more, I'd say. Yeah.
It's really stiff.
That's fine. Put it in there and then just put it in the microwave for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 seconds, don't put it in for more because otherwise it'll go all funny.
I'm professional.
You are professional, aren't you, Cal? Right. Right, it's nozzle 1M and nozzle 16. Those are the nozzles that I'm using for this. Okay, now we're getting towards the top. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll take it off the turntable so we don't lose the top. Let's move that down. We're still losing the top. Okay, all right. We'll put it up a tiny little bit. How much buttercream do you actually need? Do you know what? It depends on the size of your cake. So that's my honest answer with this. Did you get the colour, Kelly? Yeah, you did. Okay. Kelly's mixing.
I got green hands.
And she's got green hands, but there you go. You're a true cake decorator, Kelly, if you've got green hands.
No glamour about this.
Okay. Did you get almost the same colour? Oh, you're a good girl. Thank you.
I'm just nipping to the top.
Kelly's just made me some more green, so that's handy. All right. take this in. Yeah, I think just make up one bag to start with and have a look, see how you get on, but it has taken up quite a bit of buttercream. That's a good mix. Okay, let's grab this, refill it. Just make sure we get the air out to start with, otherwise you're going to have a problem there. Now the first bag that I filled up, this little one here, has only just started to run out. So I'm going to just fill that now. So I don't need much in that because it's such a small nozzle. I've only needed to refill this once. A little bit more green in there. Go, just get rid of any air. Right, back in again. So it doesn't actually take that long to do. What I like about this is because it is lifted off the ground, and I will show you that at the end. I'll pick it up for you so you can see it. I'm going to make it now, Kel. But it's such a nice effect. Don't you think it's nicer than just literally just piping with one nozzle? You know, the 1M is a great nozzle, but it is so nice if you mix it up with another different nozzle and you get a different effect. I just think it looks so nice, and it's not difficult to do. And you'll know when to keep changing the nozzle because you'll see it, you'll see your gaps. Yeah, it's a nice effect, isn't it? You approve. Right, just going up over the top. I think we've done it. We've done it, Kel, and we've got that much left, right down to the wire. There we go.
How long will it keep before cutting into it?
It's exactly the same as any other cake, so as long as the shelf life of your cake is. So I would imagine that if I made this cake and I presented it to somebody tomorrow and they started to cut it, then it'll be fine for at least 2 or 3 days, at least. Right, I'm just going to break this because I haven't got my scissors with me. Actually, although I can't see this on screen at the moment, but I'm going to put the star in on top. So I'm going to have to just show you this in a second. I'm just going to leave my camera back a tiny bit. Hold on. So you can see my star. Whoops, there it is. I'll hold it up at the end, but my star's just gone in. There we go. There's my star. Right, let's get the decorations on. That's the fun bit, isn't it? Right, okay, so we'll start with, I'm going to put it on turntable actually to do this because it's going to be quicker. I'm going to bring that forward. There we go. So start with the bigger items, so you can put those on where you want to put those on first. So we're going to put on, we'll put on the Gingerbread Man baubles first. So let's go for those. So spread them out. So always go for the bigger items first. Okay, so I think that's enough of those. Now we'll put on the snowflake ones. Those up there, down there. Okay, and then let's get our garland on. I'm very keen to get this little snowman garland on. I was saying to you, wasn't I, about it earlier. Let's see if we can make a little snowman garland. So using our mini snowmen. Right, here he comes round the corner here. Let's see if we can do this. I've never done this before, So I just had this idea that it might work. It looks like it's going to work. So you need to make up a few of these if you're going to make a garland. That looks quite good, doesn't it? Oh, that one. You can do these with the little Santas as well. That works as well. See if I'm going to can get from top to bottom all the way round with my snowman. What do you think, Kelly?
Very nice.
Do you like?
Mm-hmm.
Got buttercream all over my hands. Let's get that off. Okay. Keep going. Don't know if I've got all the way round yet. Oh look, I have nearly. Oh, I've got one. That's in the way now.
No, just go. Okay.
Well, I'm going to go. Oh right, design.
Just
Going to go.
either side of
Yeah, I'll
it.
go either side of it. How about that? I'm getting covered in buttercream doing this. Having said that, my hands are covered in it, so I can go right down to the bottom, and then actually round here where I started, I'll go up a bit higher. We'll go past over here somewhere.
You sounded surprised at how nice this looks.
I know. I actually love this. I know. I know. Well, I have these ideas, you see, and so I just don't get time to try them out before I go live. So it's a bit sort of as majorly winging it sometimes to make sure it actually goes okay. But I think actually that looks okay. That looks quite cool, doesn't it? And then we had some little Santas earlier as well that I made. So these were the little Santa ones. So again, you could do a little Santa one as well. I haven't got as many of these, so maybe I'll space these ones out. What do you think, Kalia?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got some little mini Santas as well. Show you what they look like with my green hands. There you go. So these were just exactly the same, just using the Mr. Santa transfer sheet. So I'll put that on as well. But I don't have as many, so I probably can't do such a nice trail as the one I've just done with the snowmen. So I'll just stick some of those on randomly. As ever, with my Christmas tree, it's got absolutely everything thrown at it, which would be pretty much what it's like at home. Right, okay. And then we've got our stars as well. So let's put these on. Let's put our Christmas stars in. So you can put as much on or as little on as you want. You might decide you want to paint your do your tree in pink. You could do a pink tree. You could do a white tree. You can coordinate it, you know, all in one colour. If you wanted to do that, it's your tree, so you can decorate it however you want. It's entirely up to you. And then we've got our snowman there. The plan of action with him was just to kind of stand in there at the front, which you'll see when I pick him up. Right, yes, I'm going to stand you there. One snowman or two, Kelly?
Two.
Two snowmen. What?
They're friends.
They're friends snowman. What, together or separately? Separately. One
Separately.
Or... Yeah. Okay.
Do you sell transfer sheets all year round?
Yes. We're in Christmas mode at the moment, so we've got lots of Christmas transfers, but we do sell them all year round. Right, I'm just going to move this back, and I'm going to turn this towards the camera so you can see what I've done with the snowmen there. Okay, so there's one there and one there. Now, all I've done is at the bottom of the snowman, there's just like a little bit where the lollipop stick would have been, and I've just pushed it against the tree and then pushed it into the sugar paste, which is still soft, so it will set. So I've pushed those back there, and then I'm going to just take the presents that I've made, and I'm just going to put these at the bottom of the tree as well. I've just put a bit of green underneath and just put those there like that. Put another one as well, 2 meters apart. Actually, yeah, that is true. There we go. And then there's a few under there as well. I've just got to put another snowman or two on because these are so nice. I'm just so addicted to them now. Okay, Just put another one up there. Right, Tracy, stop. Okay, and glitter, obviously. Glitter is the answer, isn't it, to everything? So we then put some glitter on as well. Now I'm going to actually pick this up in a minute so you can see it properly, because you can't really see it from where with my camera as is. Oh, actually, I've got another present here. Let's put that on as well. Let's go for 4 presents. Put a bit of buttercream on there. So they fit under the tree because the tree is up. So remember right at the start that we lifted the tree up, and that is why we can get things under the tree. So just remember that. Right, I'm just going to quickly wash my hands because they are now out of control. Okay. Right. Okay, so now I'm going to have to pick this up very, very carefully. Try not to throw it down myself. I'm sure it will be fine. Right, are we ready for this? Okay, right. Okay, here comes the Christmas tree. I will put a picture of this on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, I will put a picture. There we go. How about that? That way round, that way round. There we go. How about that? That's pretty. You see my big star on the top. There you go. It's quite big, this star anyway. There you go. Says the little snowman as well. So all the items that I've used on this cake are available on my website. So if you haven't been on my website before, there it is, tracyscakes.co.uk. That's including all the moulds and the little transfers as well. The star, you can cut any star out of paper. That's just a star out of glittery paper. So anything you like, it doesn't matter. You pick your topper. That's entirely up to you. But I will put this on Instagram so you can have a closer look at it. And it will be going off to Stoke Mandeville Hospital tomorrow, over to the A&E department, so they'll be having that for their Christmas cake. So it's going to a good home anyway. So I'm just going to turn it round so you can see. If I lift it up high now, you can see where the underside of the tree is, that we set it up under there. Can you see? So the tree is lifted up, it's not flat on the ground, and I just think it looks so much better, and it is lovely and secure, so it's not going anywhere. It's not, nothing awful is going to happen to it. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me this evening, watching on a different day. As I say, I'm normally on a Tuesday. Today it's Wednesday, so I'm here there instead. I will post a picture on Sugar and Crumbs page as well, so you can see it if you want to have a look. If you have any questions about anything I've done this evening, do please contact me via the website tracyscakes.co.uk, or drop me an email. I'm going to be more than happy to help you. If you want to follow me on Instagram, that is my Instagram page. It's just coming up now, and you will be able to see the cake on there tomorrow morning when we come back and take it. I will be back tomorrow morning at 11:30 on Sugar and Crumbs for another demonstration, so I look forward to seeing some more of you tomorrow. Thank you, Kelly, for your comments.
You're welcome.
She's enjoying this quite a lot, I think. And I will see you all tomorrow morning at 11:30, or back on Tuesday evening, which is my normal slot, at 6:30. Thank you so much for your comments, and I will, if you'd like to watch it on catch up, if you've just joined me, it will be available to watch after this. So take care for now. See you all soon. Bye.